Hey, hi, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Soul Healing Journey podcast. My name is Joanie, and I'm a singer traveling around the world, deeply passionate about psychology, sociology, and I live to find healing through music, travel, and self love. In this safe space, I open up my heart to share the lessons I've learned through my journey, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. I know the high achiever life can be lonely and overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. And whether you're chasing big dreams or seeking inner peace, I'm here to guide you with real talk, soul healing practices, tools to help you stay grounded, authentic, and thriving. And most of all, I'm here as a reminder to care for the most important part of your journey, yourself. So let's start. Today, we're going to talk about the power of healing through travel. I have so much to share about I have so much to share on this topic that I had to sit down and organize it into different themes. Otherwise, I swear it would have been a chaotic episode. So for today, I want to focus on my solo travels and the freedom that they bring. Just so you know, I'm far from a newbie when it comes to solo travel. I've explored many countries alone in different settings. I've explored Mexico, Spain, Tanzania, some states in the US, almost every province in Canada, China, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, Belize, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Australia, Nice, Monaco, and others. So you get the gist. And all that as a solo traveler. One of the things I've experienced on all these trips is how healing it is to step into new backyards. So I'm thinking about it. Have you ever wondered what it's like to travel alone? And I understand for some it can feel overwhelming. Jumping into the unknown is challenging because it's challenging. That's it. Yes, it is. And especially as a solo woman traveler. But the outcome of it, priceless. And let me tell you something. Never in my life, when I came back from a trip, I ever said to myself, I should have stayed here. Never. So, today, I want to share with you 4 reasons why I love solo traveling and the incredible benefits it brings. So let's start. If you are a recovering people pleaser, or if you still need improvement in the hey girl, put your boundaries up department, then you will love this one. In our day-to-day lives, we tend to play the same roles within our social environment. So, these are dynamics we created. We did that. Yes, like champ. And at some point, it can feel like we're stuck in them. But traveling solo gives you the space to be your true self. The one without the pressure to please anyone. Well, anyone but yourself. So you get to set your own boundaries with people you barely know. And you quickly realize how healthy and freeing that is. You will even notice it in your body. I mean, your body's gonna feel less tense, your digestion is gonna improve, your skin's gonna glow. I mean, who doesn't like a glowy skin? So yes, and I remember meeting someone in Bali. I was just walking down the street when a girl just stopped me and asked me for direction. And I swear that's a real story. I'm not making that thing up. And I noticed her accent and I realized she spoke French. So we started chatting in French and we ended up spending the evening exploring and eating and enjoying Bali together. At some point, she mentioned she wanted to go on an expedition the next day, but she needed an extra person for her to be able to book the day trip. Normally, I would have said, I would no. Back then, back in my old days, I would have said yes, just to avoid disappointing her or just to avoid, no, to be honest, just to avoid to me challenging myself and set my boundary and say no. But we're not here to judge here. We are here to learn. But honestly, when she asked me that, I was, 40% into it. It sounded nice, for real. It sounded nice. But I didn't really want to spend my money into this or my time. So I said no. I just said no. And guess what? Nothing happened. The day after, I still had an amazing day and I did what I wanted. And that evening, we met up again and nothing had changed. It was still great. The energy was still there. It was the same. And I, the most important part of this, I was still me. I didn't try to merge and I was happy because let's say I would have said yes. I know the minute that something would have been off during the day trip, I would have been mad. And I would have said to myself, oh, I shouldn't do that, and that, and you start to switch into a negative mindset. No need of that anymore. I'm not there anymore. And that moment reminded me, especially the day after, when we spent the evening together and it was still fine, that reminded me something really important, which is saying no doesn't push the right people away. It brings you closer to your authentic self. So let me say that again. Saying no doesn't push the right people away. It brings you closer to your authentic self. And soul travel gives you the chance to experiment with your boundaries, especially with people you have no deep attachment to. And listen to this. If strangers respect your boundaries more than some of your close circles do, well, that says a lot. Just saying. And it doesn't mean you have to end any relationships. It's not what I'm saying at all. But it might be the time to realign them. Okay. Second one, shedding the performer mask. As a performer myself, I've realized that my stage mask doesn't always stay on stage. Sometimes it follows me into my everyday life, not in the same role, but the same mask. I don't know if you can relate. Let's say when you're laughing at a bad jokes to keep the peace, you're engaging in small talk when all you really want is to put your PJ and get the heck out of there. Sitting in rooms that drain your energy instead of fueling your creativity. And if you're like me, someone who thrives on energy of others, it's your mission, honestly, it's your mission to place yourself in spaces where your soul feels nourished. Not the opposite, not drained, nourished. But that is a topic for another episode. I'm just saying. Oh, yes. But anyway, shedding the mask while traveling is both super simple and super challenging. I mean, simple because in new places, there are no expectations. Not at all. Nobody knows you. No one knows the role you are usually playing when you're back home. No one knows the role you usually play. But it is challenging. It's challenging because you have been conditioned to merge, to adapt, and to fit in. Owning your true self can feel destabilizing. Yes, destabilizing at first. And that is the challenging part of it. But let's talk about applause. Okay, let's talk about applause. Have you ever caught yourself waiting for applause? I don't mean literal applause. I mean that moment of validation, that nod of approval, that reassurance that you're doing the things right. That kind of applause. And as performers, we are used to it. We step on stage, we deliver, and we wait for that reaction. But here's the thing, it's not just performers, teachers, doctors, entrepreneur, leaders. So many of us in different roles. And unconsciously, we all seek that same recognition. And often, we don't even realize it. We're doing it. There's a term for this in sociology. This is called role spillover. It happens when the expectations of our professional life seep into our personal life. So we start curating ourselves, molding our personalities, all that to fit what we think will be the most liked, the most accepted. And performing doesn't always mean, hey, it's me being extra, over the top, and all that. Sometimes it means playing smaller, shrinking, holding back. And that's the fastest way to disconnect from your own energy. Yeah. But when I travel, something shifts. No audience, no script, no expectations, just me. And slowly I realized something. I realized that I don't need to wait for applause. I got everything in me. I can clap for myself. I got this. I can validate my own experiences. I can choose joy without needing any permission. This is powerful. You know, when you start doing that, you don't just transform your way of traveling, you transform the way you live. You hear that? You don't just transform the way you travel, you transform the way you live. There's no price for that. So, if you've been waiting for applause, maybe it's time to step off the stage for a little while, take a minute, live for you, and let that be enough. So, speaking of applause, let's talk about self-expansion. That is the kind of growth that happens when you see yourself doing things you never imagined you were capable of. Like when I decided during COVID to buy a van, turn it into a tiny home on wheels, and travel across Canada alone for 8 months. That trip was crazy amazing, but that trip became an ode to self-expansion. I faced so many challenges, I lost count. At one point, I was stuck for days in a swamp, and another time, I was literally stranded in the snow with a broken brake line, and I was waiting for a tow truck in the middle of a snowstorm at night. Fun, 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 fun. And honestly, there were moments I was like, there's no way, there's no freaking way I'm getting out of this. But somehow, thank God, I always did. Like a pro, like a champ. And when you have days like that, when you survive what felt impossible, you feel unstoppable. You realize how resourceful, strong, and capable you really are. And of course, I know challenges happen at home too. I know, I'm aware of that. But when you are traveling, your usual support system ain't there. You have to rely on yourself and yourself only, and the incredible people you're gonna meet along the way. But otherwise, it's you. Like me, myself, and I, that's all I got. That's it. So that's where real growth happens. And that is self expansion. Okay, last one, the travel connection effect. So many people have told me I could never travel alone or I would feel too lonely. But let me tell you something, meeting new people while traveling is way easier than you think. In fact, it happens so naturally. You could be sitting at a cafe or walking through a market or watching the waves at the beach, and boom, you are in a conversation with someone you would have never met in your normal routine. This is what I call the travel connection effect. When we step into unfamiliar places, something shifts. The usual social walls we build in our daily lives start to crumble or disappear. We become more open, more curious, and so the people around us. And there's actually a scientific reason for this. It's called accelerated social bonding. When we are outside our comfort zone, our brains instinctively seek connection for safety, belonging, and shared experience. And at home, we pass by the same people every day without saying a word. But when we travel, everything changes. Let's say you see a traveler reading a book. So instead of hesitating, you ask, hey, what are you reading? Or you notice someone struggling with direction, and suddenly, boom, you're making dinner plans. It could even be you're joining a group tour or a cooking class. And before you know it, you have a new travel buddy. It's raw, it's fearless, and it's human connection at its purest. I love that part of traveling. And there's something freeing about meeting people who know nothing about your past, your family, or your friends. You don't have to worry about them spilling the tea. So it allows you to show up as your most authentic self. No masks, no pretense, just presence. And the best part is these encounters don't have to last forever to be meaningful. Some people will cross your path for just a moment, some for a night, and some for a lifetime. But every interaction leaves a mark. So, if you ever feared traveling solo because of loneliness, trust me when I say this, you will meet exactly who you need to meet at exactly the right time. You will meet exactly who you need to meet at exactly the right time. And that, my friends, is the magic of the travel connection effect. Et voila! That's a wrap. Thank you so much for being here again this week. Before I left, one thing. Say yes to what excites you, say no to what drains you, and be bold. Okay, so if this episode resonated with you, let's keep the conversation going. Connect with me on Instagram at the Soul Healing Journey _ and on TikTok and YouTube at the Soul Healing Journey. Share your own travel stories and let me know what part hit home the most. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the podcast so we can keep vibing every week. Okay, thank you for being here again, and until next time, see ya.